Welcome back to Planet Earth. I'm your host, David Attenborough, and today, predators of the Serengeti, the Tacoma. As luck would have it, we have spotted this female taking a rest after a dip in the local watering hole. Just look at her, fantastic in the prime of her life. Nature is truly a wondrous thing. Behold, the Tacoma. And here we see what looks like a battle scar from a tussle with another female, likely over territory rights. The savagery these creatures put themselves through is absolutely fascinating.
Welcome back to the Tacomaholic channel, everyone. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Yes, I've been watching a lot of Planet Earth on Netflix and decided to splice that in with a little intro. Hope you enjoyed it. The holidays are right around the corner. I hope you have all your shopping done. Today's video will be going over a few updates for the Tacoma, each of which is important sort of in the build in general. Give you guys some updated information on things I've done to the truck or am in the process of doing. But just like with my mini mods videos, each of these isn't necessarily large enough to have its own video. So let's dive right in.
And here we are in the belly of the beast, saying today's updates will cover the Tootsie Band, the Unifilter mod, and the Meze JDM Molly Rack. This video is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
First up is the Tootsie Band mount, which was the subject of my latest video. If you have not seen that one, go ahead and check it out. Link right above right here. So this was a fun mod. Install a little tricky, but mostly if you're just patient with it, it's not too bad. You can see I went ahead and moved my RAM mount, sort of the cradle mount that you can put your cell phone. I had that on the A-pillar over there. Got it moved over here. Definitely a more natural position when you're driving, and since I'm right-handed, easier to use for GPS and all that. Of course, I also have my CB mounted up there. Things are coming along smoothly. As far as the design of this, it seemed like it was hit or miss with you guys, where you guys either loved it or hated it. Some of you even said it looked ghetto, which I know everyone's got their own opinion, but I mean, come on, this thing, I love the way it flows with the lines, with the angles on the top. Blends perfectly with the angles on the bottom, but one thing you guys did seem to not really care for or were curious about was the back of this, which as of right now is exposed, it's open, and you can see the wires, which I will show you in just a second. But Expedition Essentials, who is the manufacturer of this product, it is made in America. They did mention they are in the works to develop a panel that will cover that on the front of it. Front meaning towards the front of the vehicle. It's actually the back of the unit, but it will cover those exposed wires back there. So you guys know as soon as that's ready, I'm going to grab one of those and give you an update on that, show you what it looks like. But I did just want to give you a quick overview, show you what it looks like without the panel, with the wires from the outside of the truck. It's really not too bad. And again, you can get some black electrical tape maybe and just sort of cover up the wire part in the middle and hide it even better, but let's see what it looks like from the other side. Okay, I'm sort of just leaning over the windshield right here. You can probably see my head right there in the reflection, but that's what it looks like up close. Of course, if you're farther back, I'll show you in just a second from the hood of the truck. It's really not that bad because everything's black anyway. The dash is black or charcoal colored. Yes, you can see the wires, but it's not too obtrusive, I don't think. It doesn't really bother me at all. And let me show you from the front, and you can see it's even less of an annoyance. And that's what you get. I'm standing right at the front of the truck, so I guess maybe 5.5 feet away from the actual exposed wires. Not really too bad, and of course, if you're driving around in traffic and you're worried it might be an eyesore, you know, give your Tacoma a bad look. To oncoming viewers, if you're trying to show off your truck, not really bad at all. Here's a couple angles for you so you can see. But again, if that was one of the things you were hung up on about not purchasing the Tootsie Band, don't worry, because Expedition Essentials is in the works to get that panel in place. And hopefully I'll have an update for you guys about that soon enough. And next up, we do have an update regarding the Unifilter mod, which again, if you didn't see that video, actually I have a few videos on this. Go ahead and check those out above right now. But this is the Unifilter filter that goes right there. Replaces the sort of cheap foam filter that Toyota places on the inside of this. I wanted to give you guys a quick update because I recently went off-roading, got a ton of mud under the truck. It's cleaner now, not pristine obviously, still got some work to do. But as you can see from the video in just a second, I did go through a large mud puddle. Here's what that looked like right now. And here's a picture of what the engine bay looked like directly after that off-roading trip. So even though I did sort of clean off superficially all the plastic in the engine bay, including the top of the unifilter cover, I'm going to open this up and show you not only what the filter looks like that is sort of exposed to the elements, but more importantly what's on the inside down here, because I know some of you might be worried, like if you go off-roading, get a little aggressive in the mud, if muddy water is going to get sucked into this more exposed filter and then, you know, potentially get sucked into your secondary air pump and then into your engine and all that. So I'm going to pop that open for you in just a second so you can see everything looks great. And again, just to remove this cap right here, it is just a few clips you can pull up starting in the back right corner and then just sort of loosen up the front. That whole thing comes off. And again, of course, this was dirty. The outside sort of shell are sealed because everything under the engine bay was filthy with mud, but that's just fine. That's what it's supposed to do. After that, you just take your T25 Torx bit. There is one screw right here in the middle.
I'm gonna remove that.
And then from here, you can just sort of pop up. There's a few tabs to get this off. And then once you get everything off, you can see here's the filter. Yes, there's some splashes of mud on the underneath side, but that's to be expected since that part is open from the shell or the concealing cap. And of course some on the front of it, but if you look at the actual filter material, it's still deep red. It doesn't look brown or discolored in any way that you would expect if everything got soaked from the muddy water. Of course, the top of it, there is a little dirt in there, but that's to be expected. But again, this is another shell that's sealing the inside part, which you can see even when I flip that over, still nice and clean, no muddy water at all, or no evidence of muddy water or any dirt. Trying to get in position so I'm not blocking the sun with my shadow here, but you can see everything in here is clean. There's no dirt, no debris, which honestly I was a little nervous when I opened that up because as you can tell from that short clip, I hit that muddy water going pretty quickly and it was everywhere. I had it all over the hood, all over the engine bay, pretty much everywhere you can think of. All of my body crevices as well. So that's a fun update for you guys if you were worried about running the UNI filter, since it is sort of more exposed than the Toyota one. So I would imagine if it can survive going through a splash like that at that speed without any kind of mud getting in here, we should be good to go as far as keeping unwanted mud and debris out of this area. And the last quick update back here in the back of the truck on the ever popular Meze Molly panel, you can see right here I've got installed. I did go ahead and grab a first aid pouch, you can see right here, and don't worry, I'll go over this in more detail. I'm going to do a whole video on stuff I'm mounting to the Meze Molly rack. But I got this on Amazon, love it. It even comes with this cool pouch, and this is a tearaway. So once I mount this, you can see it's got Velcro that mounts to the back of that. You could already hear it sticking just to the carpet back here. So once I get this mounted, if I'm ever in an emergency situation, got this loaded up with, like, you know, basic medical supplies, you can tear this off without worrying about getting any straps on here. But I did try to install that medical pouch on the Meze rack with it already installed, and it's sort of a pain. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get everything I'm going to mount on the Meze rack, you know, as I've planned it out, uninstall the Meze rack, mount everything up, because we just don't have enough space under here to really, it seems like it would be a giant pain and you might risk scratching like some of the paint and all that on the metal. Which it's not a knock on Meze or the product at all, because that's what you want. You want this thing to sort of be as tight to the ceiling as possible so it's not hanging down. But as far as getting stuff mounted to it, I'm going to go ahead and once I have everything laid out, ready to go, figure out where I'm going to put it, because you can see there's really a lot of space up here, because this thing, I want to say it's like 10 inches wide, thick, and, you know, probably about 4 feet long, so tons of space. And you do have these side panels, you know, the diagonal panels right here to mount to also. So once I get everything done, I'm going to uninstall the Meze rack, you know, sort of flip it over, get everything mounted with all the straps and whatnot, while it's not attached to the ceiling, because it'll just be so much easier. So wanted to give you guys an update. I know I chatted with a few people either on Tacomaworld or Facebook, or maybe even on some of the YouTube videos. They said they got the same thing, and, you know, they also noticed it's really hard to install stuff with the rack installed. So pretty common consensus that that's going to be a lot easier to do with the rack not installed up there on the headliner. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully, if I've been a good boy this year, I'll get some good stocking stuffers to mount to the Meze rack for Christmas. All right, everyone, that will do it for this video, but I literally have tons of projects coming up for the Tacoma, so please stay tuned. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already and you love everything related to Tacomas. Got a bunch of stuff I want to try to cram in with the truck before the end of the new year, and then some big projects to kick off 2019, so stay tuned for that. As always, thank you so much for supporting the channel by watching this video. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video.